everyone, welcome to another video. This is our travel vlog when we went for a holiday in the Philippines. I think this was 3 years ago now. We were heading towards the village of Dinidiawan. We just came from an overnight stay in Baler, where we stayed at a guest house which we rented. I think it's also in one of our videos here where we stayed. I think there are public transports in Baler. We've seen some buses there. And don't expect any trains. No trains here. And no ferries either, even though we're next to the Pacific Ocean. Nothing of that sort. You can either come here via bus or coach or by private means, which is what we did. If you're a solo traveler and you come from Manila, you can join one of the travel groups. You can check them via Facebook, but you have to be very careful because a lot of people get scammed joining these travel tours. So you have to really check that your tour operator is trusted. Easier said than done, of course, because a lot of the scammers look trustworthy. So yeah, you have to do a bit of digging when you join these tours being advertised. As you can see, lots of coconuts and bananas. I think coconuts are actually the main products of Aurora, because we didn't see a lot of rice fields. There were very narrow strips of land between the ocean and the mountains. So the vibe here is a bit like in Quezon province. So when you visit Tagaytay, just go down the slopes and you'll see Quezon province. Yeah, I think Aurora and Quezon were one and the same before, but then they separated the two because maybe geography. Why, I don't know my geography. You'll have to check it for yourself. I might be telling fibs. So anyway, back to Aurora. So Baler is a city. Was it a city or a town? Anyway, Baler is in the province of Aurora. It is secluded because you've got the Sierra Madre Mountains on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other side. So it's only recently that Aurora province has opened up to tourists. In the mountains, actually, there were the famous, I don't know if I call it famous, but the tribe called the Dumagats. They're quite legendary people because they were known to be very tribalistic people, and they can behead an enemy or people they considered as threat. So they were fearsome mountain people. People from the lowlands fear them. I wonder how the people who built the roads through the mountains fared on with them. That reminds me of the western frontier in America, when they were pushing westwards towards unknown territory. A lot of people get killed from either party. I have a feeling that is what happened. Anyway, I'm not a historian. It's just nice to have side stories. As you can see, very lush tropical rainforests. And by the way, guys, if you like this kind of content, leave us a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe. We upload every now and then places we visit. We're not a travel channel mainly. We mainly deal with vintage and collectible items. That's our main thing in this channel, but all work and no play, it's kind of boring, so it's nice to throw travel videos, travel and lifestyle videos every now and again, because that's what we are. We are British and Far East traders lifestyle. This part of the road before was cut off from either side, so it just connected two provinces. You have Quirino province, where we are heading to now, and we just left Aurora province. I think it's less than a decade old, that connecting road, but you can see very beautiful views of the Pacific Ocean. Very picturesque, but don't be fooled, because Pacific Ocean is very notorious for tidal waves. Yeah, it's the same ocean that batters Japan, which normally suffers from tsunami. Philippines and Japan belong to the Pacific Ring of Fire, which means you have underwater volcanoes firing all the time, so the earth is constantly shifting and moving. Where do I get all this info from? Watching too many travel and documentary videos, I guess. Anyway, the car in front of us is our convoy. Because it's quite scary. You're going to a place and you're not quite familiar, and there's not a lot of facilities to repair. If you have a breakdown, you can't call the AA like in the UK. Your car breaks down, it's your own problem. You can't have a courtesy car. And if you leave your car in remote areas like this, goodness knows if you even find it when you go back to it the following day. I think from Baler to Dinidiawan, it's around 2 hours drive, so it's quite a long stretch. The mileage might not be too much, but because you can't speed up so much due to it being a winding road, that's what makes the journey longer. That's a tricycle, which you will see all over the Philippines. It's a bit like the tuk-tuk of Thailand. Very lush countryside. The road here is called the Baler Kasiguran Road. Kasiguran being the last town accessible by road. After that, I think it would be the lush jungles, which is not yet developed. And you'll find further up north, Palanan Isabela, which is always in the news because it's an isolated town and people fly there using small planes, and a lot of small planes crash in the jungle. It's always in the news. Very dense jungle. Those part of Isabela, And by the way, guys, if you have the opportunity, you can visit local markets. You can sample their freshly caught fish from the Pacific Ocean. But we were told you have to get there very early, around 4 a.m. because they're selling like hotcakes. And look at this view. I think we're now driving on a bridge, heading towards that mountain, which is part of the Sierra Madre mountain range. Unfortunately, there's no tunnel going through that mountain, so we have to go round and round, which adds to the mileage of our trip and to the dizziness if you're not used to this kind of roads, which is non-stop winding roads for almost 2 hours. You can get really dizzy. I had motion sickness by the end of the trip, heading to Dinidiawan. You can see here motorbikes, and they are not wearing safety helmets. Very bad. A lot of vloggers, by the way, like driving along the coastal routes. A lot of them do the northern loop, it's called. They come from Manila and they loop towards the northern provinces of Ilocos, then loop back towards the south, towards Manila. Very lovely views, but I guess it's very tiring. This part of the road is quite similar to the road to Puerto Galera. We also went there last year for a holiday, but it was after Christmas and the weather wasn't just on our side. Very windy, gray skies, the waves were quite strong, so it was no time for bitching. Baler is famous for surfers. They have a very famous resort along Sabang Beach. It's called Aliyah Surfing Camp and Resort, I think. We have a blog featuring Aliyahs. We're not sponsored, by the way. We just went there for a meal and the views were lovely. Your views are ocean views. You can have a meal facing the Pacific Ocean, and if it's not too windy, you can open the sliding doors. Very nice meal we had there. Yeah, if you're that social animal kind of holiday maker, you can spend the night at Aliyah Surf Camp and Resort. It looks like they've got a good social life there. And there were a lot of neighboring bars and restaurants as well. Walking distance. We've seen loads of those. So if you're into nightlife, we recommend that part of Baler along Sabang Beach. I think there's another famous resort there. It's called Costa Pacifica Baler. Also very nice. And when the weather is not rough, you can walk in Sabang Beach. There's a beach walk there. It's a bit like your naturistic version of Brighton Beach. But of course, nothing beats Brighton. Only problem with Brighton Beach, it's not sandy, it's very pebbly. Unless it's low tide, then the fine sand is exposed and you can walk bare feet. But Baler have very nice fine sand. It's not white sand though. Boracay is famous for its white sand. Never been there. Still, these parts of Aurora is still underdeveloped, but they're just picking up on tourism now. They're opening up to the idea that they can make a living catering to tourists. There are a few resorts in Dinidiawan if you want to avoid the crowds of Baler. But if you're going to spend the night, just stay in Baler. Dinidiawan is not yet an established tourist destination. Just go there for a stopover. Nothing's stopping you. Here, the views are now opening up. Very tempting to stop and take a video, but there's no parking. We are now approaching a lovely bridge. Very scenic this part of the drive. Look at that view. And the rivers here are crystal clear and very cold. Not that river. It's quite dry. Because we went during summer, that's why. There's no point going to these places outside summer. Because the Philippines is known for typhoons. And if you're going here during the typhoon season, you won't enjoy your holiday because you're a typhoon front. These are one of the areas that are like typhoon fronts because of their location towards the Pacific. So when visiting these areas, make sure it's during Philippine summertime, which is around March and April. Outside of that, you'll now have to check the weather or for typhoon announcements, because you don't want to come here and fight the typhoon, do you? Now we have reached Dinidiawan, which is our destination for a stopover, I think. We didn't stay overnight in Dinidiawan. There's nothing much to see. We just drove for a bit and then we left and went back to Santiago City, which is what they call the Queen City of the North. Is it? I might be making that up. Anyway guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please leave us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Bye!